In today's video, we are going to be talking about the June 14th primary elections that just happened today's night, and we're going to get right into today's video, starting with the state of South Carolina. With its governor's race, Henry McMaster easily wins his renomination. Joe Cunningham also easily won the Democratic nomination. They called it not too long ago. I called it basically at poll closing. Mia McLeod just did not have a shot at taking down Joe Cunningham. In the United States Senate, this one may have surprised some people. You can see that Kyle Matthews is the only candidate that actually has a profile picture on the New York Times, but she's actually at second place right now. And this race is basically a three-way race. I have already called it for that this race will go to a runoff between Catherine Bruce and Christo Matthews. I did already call this race. I think the third place candidate not too far behind, though I do not think he'll be able to win. For the first district here, this is where it gets interesting. Nancy Mace is the incumbent in this race, but this race is quite competitive. Nancy Mace, the incumbent Republican, talked a bunch of crap about former President Donald Trump, and therefore Trump backed Katie Arlington, a challenger towards Nancy Mace. Right now, it does look like Nancy Mace will end up avoiding that runoff and garnering over 50% of the vote due to his very strong performance in the county of Charleston, while Katie Arlington, although winning Berkeley, he is not winning the county by a large enough margin. Jasper County has barely any votes. It does look like that she will end up avoiding that runoff, but I will not be surprised if it ends up that Katie Arlington and Nancy Mace goes to the runoff, or even Katie Arlington ends up winning this race, given that there is still 30% of the vote left. Now, looking at the 4th district here, William Timmons, although a candidate that is still pretty Trumpian, did not vote for Trump's impeachment, voted to overturn the 2020 general election. He is still at 53. He still has even more conservative opponents who are garnering a total of 47% of the vote. It does look like he'll be able to hold on in this race, but we'll have to see in the end. The 7th district, I've already called it. Russell Fry I've already called this race. Russell Fry would now avoid the runoff and defeat Tom Rice in the Republican primary. Tom Rice voted for Trump's impeachment. That will not help you in a state like South Carolina, in which most of these counties in 2020 were pretty conservative, pretty rural counties, except Horry County has a pretty good population, but it's also a very pro-Trump county with 66.1% of the vote went to Donald Trump in this county, in the state of South Carolina. So look at this. I think most people expected Russell Fry to come on top. I don't think many people expected him to not end up in a runoff. So it is a pretty good win for the Republican, Trumpian win of the Republican Party. James Clyburn easily wins his renomination as well. Looking at the Texas 34th district, this has been a pretty good night for the Republican Party. Looking at this, the Republicans have absolutely blown the Democrats out of the water in this race. That being said, the turnout is quite low in this race. I do recognize that, but the Republicans are doing very well in this district. Cameron County, for instance, Mara Flores, the main Republican candidate right now, is getting 47.5% of the vote and actually leading his major Democratic opponent. Now, if you add in all the Democratic vote and all the Republican vote, the Democrats are at 51%, the Republicans are at 49%, but that is still a significant overperformance from Joe Biden's 2020 general election performance, in which he actually underperformed Hillary Clinton in this area by like 19 percentage points. Right now, the Democrats are on track to underperform Biden by another 10%, if not more. And the good news for the Republican Party continues. Wolsey County, a county that Biden was able to win by 12 percentage points. Right now, the combined Republican vote is 0.1% higher than the combined Democratic vote. Now, the turnout has been far lower in this race. In fact, there's only been like 700. I believe there's only about 720 votes. While in 2020, the county had over 5,000. That being said, this is still not a very good news for Democratic turnout. And just looking at the district as a whole right now, in Texas, you do need at least 50% of the vote to avoid a runoff. Right now, the Republican candidate right now has 51% of the vote, meaning the Republican candidate has more than enough to not end up in a runoff. There's still a little bit of the vote left, but yeah, there's not a lot of the vote left. And it's over 95% reported. I have called this for Mario Flores. I have called that he will not end up in a runoff. Going to the state of Nevada, the votes have not started to count, which is quite interesting. I thought they will have started to count right now, but yeah, there still haven't been any votes actually at all. But for North Dakota, John Hoofman, of course, has won re-nomination. The Democrats also pretty solidly behind Karina Christensen, but that does not really matter at all, considering the Democrats don't have a chance in a state like North Dakota. Finally, in the state of Maine, there's 49% of the vote already counted. I have called this race for the candidate that's currently on top, given that over 50% is in, and he leads by 5,000 votes, or over 20 percentage points. That being said, this race could still tighten up, and there's still about half of the vote remaining. I think that he'll be able to win. The question is just how much. So thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye!